Sex is not a right. You are not entitled. Some of this is going to be so basic, you're saying, why am I here? And some of it will be revelation, but you are not entitled. Sex is a holy privilege that involves another human being, and it involves the gift that she needs to and wants to freely give to you. She wants to give it if you're married. She wants to give it. It's built in. It's part of her nature. And by the way, there's some notes. As the brothers come in, keep an eye. One over there. Yeah, so sex is not a right. You're not entitled. It's a holy privilege. She wants to give that gift to you. If she can't give it for whatever reason, or if her gift is taken from her by you, taken from her before she's ready to give it, she will feel cheated. She will feel violated, and eventually she will turn away and shut you off. And some of us, I know, have experienced that. And that's where those who, and I'm just going to be hard about some things, that's where those, some of us, who have not quite grown up begin to complain, my wife doesn't ever want sex and I have needs. That is the statement that a child makes. And we need to grow up as men. And by the way, if at any point you need to wave a hand in the air and ask a question, we got mics on either side and runners to bring them to you. So, yeah, and a mic in the middle, never mind. So number 2, sex is not a need to be met, it's a gift to be received. A need is something you would die without. You could go the rest of your life without sex and you wouldn't die. You know, food is a need. You go without food, you get sick and die. Water is a need. You go without water, you get sick and die. Sex is not a need. It's a privilege, and it's holy. When it's taken from your wife, or it's demanded instead of received from her as a gift, that you, by the way, have loved her into giving, then sex becomes use and abuse. If you're taking it, rather than loving her into surrendering it, then it's use and abuse, and she will set you off, and you deserve it. 3, sex is a blessing given. Ephesians, by you, by the way. It's a blessing given by you. Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for her. Now here is a key, hang on to it. This applies not just to lovemaking, but it applies to all relationships with women. The selflessness of the cross must infuse lovemaking. God called, somebody said before the meeting, said, he's a sexist God, whether you like it or not. He appointed you to be the head, and you can't escape that in Scripture, it's clear. You can't explain it away, you can't minimize it. He called you to be the head, but there's a particular quality to it. He called the man to lead, to set the pace in self-sacrifice. And that applies to lovemaking. And I will probably say a number of times tonight, it's not about you, it's about her. And you sacrificing yourself, your pleasure, for her sake. So when I'm in intimate moments with my wife, it's not about what I'm getting. That's not my concern. It's about what I'm giving.